Join us for an enlightening experience where you will gain a deeper understanding of the purpose and essence of opening your eyes. This is your chance to enhance self-awareness and personal growth with a shift in perception that provides a fresh outlook on life. Embrace the journey from consciousness to superconsciousness by Barrett Kunyan.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we have the beautiful Sabina Kurz on our Activator platform. It's an honor. It's an absolute honor to have you on our show today. Today, the title of our show is going to be The Keys to Unlocking Radiant Health and Ecstatic Aliveness. And who better than yourself, my lovely one, because we've had the privilege of seeing you when you're doing your talk shows as well, and you're absolutely remarkable. If time permits, we'll address the following areas, which is to do with our soul purpose, emotional mastery, meditation, nature, movement, detox, self-love, and optimal nutrition. I was wondering if you're comfortable just to do a little bio, a little introduction, Sabina, about yourself, and just a brief little intro where you are and how things really took off for you, my darling. All right, so I'll hand the mic to you just to introduce yourself. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for turning up.
Thank you so much, Barrett, for the wonderful opportunity to be on your show. It is a true honor. And yes, I'm going to go right into it. And so basically, I have been on the journey to health since I'm 19, mainly because I was always sick in the first 19 years. And then I got to the point I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I embarked on a deep journey, exploring everything on natural healing, fasting, nutrition, spirituality, meditation, breath work, you name it, personal development, everything in this arena I explored. So I've been diving deep for many years. And then I got to the point I realized I have to share this with this world, because a lot of people are struggling in terms of health. And health is not just, it's not just not getting sick. Health has many different layers. It's about being emotionally balanced, learning to self-regulate. It's a big piece because every condition in the body has an emotional root. So we always want to look, what's going on emotionally? What's going on mentally? Are you mentally sharp? Because there's a lot of programs that are running in our mind, and these programs are not even ours, and they're not supporting us. So we want to look at all these areas. So I really realized health is not just the body. It's about all these areas: physical, emotional, spiritual, relational, sexual, creative, all these areas. No stone can be left unturned. So we have to look, if we want to be healthy, we have to look at all of it. So that's just a journey I've been on for many years, since I'm 19. And over the past 7 years, I've been supporting others, going through fasting, through cleansing, through all kinds of forms of detox, emotional detox, shadow work, any form of natural healing. So I've been supporting others, and I've guided over 500 through a water fast or juice cleanse, mainly online. But that's kind of been my mission, to share natural healing with this world, because the body can heal itself. Our body is fully equipped and perfectly designed for self-healing. But we have not been taught that in school. Most of us don't even know that the body can heal itself. We actually have been conditioned that when we're not feeling well, we have to go outside to a doctor who will give us a pill to make us better, when in fact the body can heal itself from anything. And whenever we have a condition, this is simply the sign of your body screaming at you, hey, something is out of alignment. Something is out of balance. Something has to be done differently. And it usually goes back to What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you thinking? Really basic stuff. Which relationships are you in? Which environment do you live? What do you listen to? We have to look at all of this, and that's when we go deep, we will get to the root cause why your body is having a condition, whether it's pain, inflammation, stiffness, whatever it is, but there's always a root cause. So that's kind of in a nutshell.
Thank you for that. I also picked up from your online shows as well, which really resonate with me, and I'm sure with most of our viewers as well. You highlighted the word pain. It's not something good or bad. Pain is simply a messenger. I love that when you put that out there. And you also used a wake-up call, because people often want to suppress that, don't they? They kind of like want to put a bandage or run away thinking, I can escape the pain. Could you, for our beautiful viewers, could you elaborate something a little bit more on the pain and how you can ease it, maybe by using different methods, modalities like breathing, maybe certain movements, maybe a little bit of fasting? So in your own version, how to incorporate so that you can neutralize and harmonize the pain, basically to find a way of loving it and pampering it and to kind of ease it to a place of comfort, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. So we have been conditioned, or we can call it almost brainwashed, that pain is bad. And we have to do whatever we can to numb the pain, or get rid of the pain. And that's the model we actually live in. You have pain, you go to a doctor, you take a pill or whatever, or you have a procedure, and then the pain will go away and you're going to be okay. That is, the concept we all live in. But this is actually not true, because pain is here for a reason. As I mentioned before, pain is a messenger. Pain is a wake-up call. Pain is the message from your body telling you something has to shift. The way you live is not working for you, and you have to do something differently. So pain is neither good nor bad. Pain is simply an alert system. It's that bell that goes off. Hey, listen, 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 listen. Something is not working, what you're doing. And it usually goes back, as I said before, what are you eating, what are you drinking, what are you thinking? And underneath all of that is your belief system. What you believe is true for you. Because your belief system shapes the way you think. It shapes what you believe you should be eating or drinking. It shapes the way what you believe, what relationship you should be in, and how you should show up in life. So your belief is underneath everything. So when your body is giving you a sign, that simply means you are out of alignment with your true essence, your true nature. You're going against yourself. And at the core of all of it is self-love, not loving yourself. So when you have some kind of pain, there's a message. Somehow you don't know yet how to love yourself. And then your body is giving you the sign. And then we have to look, because it doesn't mean you have a pain in your knee that, you have to get knee surgery or take a pill for the knee. For example, knee has to do with moving forward in life. All area of the leg is about moving forward. So you want to look, where do you feel you might be stuck? Where are you not taking action steps that might be, for you necessary to do? The knee is also flexibility. Where are you not flexible? Maybe you have rigid thinking or rigid way of approaching situation, or you're stuck in a certain pattern. So that's, for example, we have to approach the knee. And any condition in the body is connected to some root. So we want to dive deep, when there's some pain, some discomfort in your body, we want to look what is underneath that. And that requires doing some deep introspective work, like really looking at yourself, being really honest with yourself, and looking, and holding yourself in love. And there might be stuff coming up, emotions that are unpleasant. But the key is to love yourself with these emotions. And then there's many different techniques we can do, like fasting is a great way to heal, because when fasting, we are without food. And we usually use food to suppress certain symptoms, suppress the emotion, suppress the uncomfortability. But when we're without food, that stuff comes up. And then use meditation and breath work to really be with what comes up, and learning to look at yourself and see yourself, with all these layers, and see yourself with things you might not like to look at about yourself. So this is the process. It's an introspective process. And using, the most powerful medicines in this world are actually free, which is fasting, breathing, connecting to nature, and moving the body. This is all free, and this is all a medicine. But most people don't take advantage of these powerful medicines. And when the body is in pain, that's the time to do the deep sit in nature, be in the day, sit in the forest for a day and look at yourself. Things will come up, go on a fast or do some really deep breath work. Things will come up, and that's the way then to look at it. So that's the process to heal.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for that, Sabina. I also picked up a particular area of interest for myself, and I'm sure it will tickle our viewers as well. Why, in your understanding, why is it critical to cultivate your childlike spirit? Because something that I enjoy doing, but
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we all have the inner child. We all have that childlike being within us. But we also have been, we have been programmed by our parents, to be serious, to work hard, and, look what other people are doing, and to strive and to succeed. And we, over time, with all that programming, we become very serious, and we become very stuck in a certain mentality, like to be successful, you got to have the house, the cars, you got to have the job, you got to go to the right school. And we get stuck in this pattern we become very serious on that. When in fact, we all need to express our childlike spirit, because that's where we need to play in order to be truly free. When you're too serious, you're actually not loving yourself, you're hurting yourself. This is like self-destructive, constantly, doing. We need to stop. It's okay to do. We all need to do, but we all need to stop and really play and let this spirit that is within us, that spirit, go wild and free and do things that you usually wouldn't do, that maybe an adult wouldn't do. Like, doing a pillow fight, or putting your face in the snow, or jumping in an ice cold body of water, doing something wild and crazy, or dancing naked in the rain, whatever it is for you. But that will actually free you from these rigid programs and from this very stuck behaviors that we all have. And it makes you more, free and childlike, and it actually lightens your body, and it gets your nervous system stimulated, and it calms you also. It has many, many health benefits just to be freely expressed and really letting go. And that's where we take out stagnation of the body, because any illness, any condition is simply stagnation in your system. And when we let go and be wild and free, we release the stagnation in the body, and the energy can flow again. And we all need energy to be creators. So this is actually a health, it's a medicine also, being childlike and free spirited. And that keeps you young. I know people that in their 70s, they have this childlike spirit. You feel like you're with a child. They have that beautiful spirit. And you will stand out of the crowd, because most people are way too serious. Just look around, walking through the streets. No one smiles anymore. There's hardly any laughter. And then heart belly laughter. That's another medicine. Really laughing, your belly hurts. This is freeing. It is actually creates, beautiful hormones in your body, gets you more balanced and happy. Is that happy hormones will be evoked through that. So I recommend anyone, go on an adventure, do something you would never do, you haven't done in a while, and let yourself go wild and free.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Sabina. And also, reference to the fasting aspect, because I heard you when you're doing some of your shows, you kind of paraphrased it in a way that it is like the fountain of youth. Now, I take it there are modalities for that, but the fasting aspect is, would you say, quite a foundation in building up your health. Would you say it's probably one of the most powerful methods, fasting? And if someone listening out there today has never done fasting before, how would you recommend them? Would you recommend them to take a big dive, or would it be like a gradual process?
Yes. So yes, as you mentioned, fasting is the fountain of youth. And when you look back, all ancient cultures have practiced fasting. You look in the Bibles, how many times is fasting mentioned? All animals in nature, when they're injured, when they're not feeling well, they lie down and they stop eating. So fasting is not a trend or something new. That's been around, forever. And when you really look, when we fast, what happens? We stop the digestion process. And the digestion process actually takes the most energy from our body. And most people, they eat all the time, from the moment they wake up until they go to sleep. So all day, the body is digesting. And that takes a lot of energy. And most people have, eat way too much. They eat very complicated combinations. And it's very hard on the body. That's why you have very little energy. Or most people need stimulants in order to, because they get tired, because they don't have enough energy. What fasting does, when we stop eating, the digestion process completely stops. That means the body frees up energy. The energy that usually goes to digestion can then go to healing. And your body knows exactly which places healing is needed. So you have to see, you have an internal cleanup crew that goes to work when you're fasting. So you have all the cells that are strong and healthy. They start to clean up and eat up the cells that are weak, that are aging, that are diseased. So you have this internal cleanup process happening while you're fasting. And after about 48 hours, the body creates stem cells, which means you're getting younger. All your organs being upgraded, and things are being rearranged, moved around, cleaned up, swept up. There's a lot happening when we fast. So it's a very powerful process. And I've actually been at a fasting center where I work with people with all kinds of intense illnesses, like life-threatening illnesses, and people have amazing results when you really go deep. But anyone, I recommend anyone, if you have never fasted, you start with a 3-day fast, because around 48 hours, your body creates stem cell. That's why the 3rd day is much more powerful than the 2nd day. That's when really the magic starts to happen, and any day after that. So the first 2 days is like getting, you're getting yourself warmed up. And the 3rd day, that's when you really get the benefits. So I offer this every month in a group setting. If anyone wants to explore that, just get in touch with me. It happens every month. It's by donation. It's 3 days. You can choose between a water fast or a juice cleanse. And for those, they really want healing, I recommend water fasting. It's probably 100 times more powerful than juicing. But that would be the way to start. And then at some point you work yourself up, because the deeper you go, once you get past 7 days, that's when real deep healing takes place. And you will get to a place where you just don't think of food anymore. But if you're really toxic, the more toxic you are, the harder it will be, because the body loosens up toxicity. So this is uncomfortable. So people experience all kinds of nausea, dizziness, weakness, and it's simply the body cleaning itself up. And you can see it, you're on Mother Nature's operating table, and surgery is performed on you just without a knife. And of course, that's not comfortable. And of course, you're going to be weak. That's why I recommend you rest as completely as you can. You can do some meditation or gentle yoga, but mainly you want to rest. This is not something you do when you're working or at the computer or you're running around. You really want to take this time for yourself. This is a deep healing process and a deep purification. And you want to give yourself, your body, the gift of rest and complete, so the body can really restore itself.
Thank you for that, Sabina. I just took a few notes down, just for my own understanding of interpretation of the methods. I was just wondering, is there a particular time of the year where it's more beneficial to begin fasting, for example? Is it not recommended to do like the winter months for some reason? Better to do it in the springtime more, or the summer, or can you do it all year round, the fasting?
Yes, that's a good question. So I have when I started, I would always do it around the new moon. That's how many ancient cultures, they fast around the new moon. The new moon is about renewal and restoration. So that would be a good time to do it. Or many people do it at the change of season. So 4 times a year. But then I got to the point I would just, because I would do it in a group setting, and sometimes I can't always work with my schedule. Sometimes there are things that I couldn't do it on a new moon. So at some point I would do it also during other times. But for beginners, it all depends. The most important thing is you take a few days that you really know you can rest. More important than picking a special day. But if you for example are available during the new moon, then do it around that or change of season. But if you can't do any other time, just pick the times that work for you.
Yeah. And I've just noted down, you mentioned water fast is the most effective than the actual juicing. And so 3 days is a good one to begin with. I mean, if someone did 1 day, would you say it's not very effective to do a 1 day fast?
Well, it's always beneficial to fast, even if it's just 1 day, because as I said, you're giving your digestive system a rest, and when you rest, it functions better. So even you do 1 day, it's still beneficial, but it's not going to be a huge upgrade. It's actually, for people, I recommend start also doing intermittent fasting, which means you have an eating window and a non-eating window. For example, I eat between 10 and 6. That's my eating window. And I don't eat before 10. I don't eat after. So I just drink water. So I have an 8-hour eating window and a 16-hour non-eating window. And if you start I've been doing this for 30 years. So my body doesn't want anything in the morning. It feels actually strange to me when I wake up at 6 to eat something. So that's why I usually wait until 10, sometimes 11, because it's just not natural for me to eat. So this is a way, intermittent fasting is a way to train yourself to be okay with 18 hours or 16 hours, no food coming in. And then you do this like first twice a week or 3 times a week. At some point it will become second nature, because when we don't eat so late, then you go to bed and all your food is already digested. But when you eat at 8 o'clock and you have a heavy meal and then you go to bed at 10 or 11, your body is still digesting. And then at night, your body is digesting. You don't have the energy to really, at night, the body should be detoxifying and resting. And you don't get the proper rest because your body is still digesting the food from your dinner. So I recommend eat early, 5 or 6, but no later. And then just drink water. And by the time you go to bed, everything is digested already. And at night, always a light meal. A salad is ideal, something light.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And it also, depending on how toxic some people are. And let me elaborate on the word toxic, because it depends what fuel you're putting in your body. Because if you're not sourcing good food, and you're sort of, and you can elaborate a little, because I've seen your shows, they're absolutely amazing. In terms of, you talk about live food, not dead food, live water, not dead water, because of the minerals and stuff. Like, if you could just bring that into our conversation, because it is very uplifting. Because I suppose one would need less fasting if you're putting because you'll notice your bowel movements as well, how good they are, and so forth. As I don't need to get into the gory details, but they're a little bit telltale signs as well. So could you tell me a little bit more about how important it is to take on board live food opposed to dead food?
Yes. And so first of all, regarding the toxicity, we all have toxins to some degree just because of the lifestyle we're living. If you're in the city, you're exposed to major anyone who lives in the city is very toxic. That's just a fact because of the toxicity you're exposed to. And all, chemtrails or what is sprayed, glyphosate is sprayed. So we all exposed to toxins. That's a fact. Okay. So anyone would benefit from detoxing. And then in terms of the food, we are living beings. We are electrical beings. We are light beings. We need light nutrition, like food that is electric and filled with life force. And that is whatever Mother Nature provides in its purest form. The fruits and the vegetables mainly, because they are exposed to sunlight. And when we eat, and so they're being infused with sunlight, which is pure sun energy. So when we take those in its raw form, that food is alive. So we're actually nourishing ourselves with live nutrition. But when we eat food that comes from a package, this is a product created by man, and there's no more life force in it. It's actually dead food. Same thing when you fry on heavy cooking, you destroy most of the nutrients in the food. So anyone who wants to have really vibrant health, I recommend eating as much as possible raw living foods that are grown in nature without spraying. So ideally, organic from local farmers or whatever, the best quality you can find. And always what is alive. Because when you eat food that is picked right there from a farm and you put in your mouth, you can feel the life force. And you can taste a difference. It's completely different than something you buy in a supermarket that's been lying there for days and weeks. It's often dead. So we always want to I say to people, do the best you can under your circumstances. If you live in the city, it's harder. Also in terms of water, the best quality water is living structured water. That is water you collect from a spring where the water is moving. That is alive water, not something that is in a plastic bottle that's standing in a supermarket is dead water. There's no more life force in it. So we want to always get the best quality water that we can find. And if you can't find anything, you can charge your water. For example, if you have no other choice than buying something that's in a plastic bottle, you put it in a glass bottle and you put it out into the sun and let it charge with the sunlight. At least the sun, sun can charge the water. So you're filling it with, and you can make a blessing. You can put the water to your heart and make a blessing, or you can write love on the bottle, like prayers and blessings. You can actually charge the water because water is an information carrier. Water stores also memory. So we can still do something. We can squeeze lemon in the water. That gives it some life force. So there's ways you can at least make your water better. But the best option is always go to a spring and collect your own water. That would be get it fresh from the spring and always in a glass bottle. Don't put water in plastic bottles because the plastic leaches into the water. So you're drinking chemicals with your water. So that's for the water. And what was the third question?
No, I think you've more or less answered it, isn't it? Yeah, well, that's good. You mentioned the word lemon. Now that's interesting because I was doing it every day with lemon, and I must say, oh, awesome. But I had a knock-on side effect to the lemon, and when I went to my dentist, I had a lot of caries. It started to affect my teeth. I mean, I was actually quite shocked because I was going quite regularly just to see everything is hunky-dory. And in a space of like 6 months, when I started my campaign, my lemon campaign, he noticed there was very little, nothing major, but a lot of small, like little issues appearing on my teeth. Is there any sort of golden rules or anything? Because someone mentioned the straw. Have you heard any cases like that yourself, Sabina, reference to acidic kind of things?
Yes,
like
lemon is by nature acidic, but take it in the body. In the body, it alkalizes you. But in your teeth, you put it into your teeth, it's acidic. So what I recommend, And you can do the straw thing. It's not ideal, but that would be a way to avoid, because it's still very beneficial because it alkalizes your body. It's very cleansing, and it's very high in vitamin C. So lemons are great, but I never had the issue myself, but I heard from others that had issue with their teeth. So what you can also do, like if you don't want to do the straw, you drink it, and immediately after you rinse your mouth with water, and you wait half an hour, and then you brush your teeth. Don't brush it right away because you can ruin the enamel of your teeth. So you want to wait, just rinse it with water afterwards, and then half an hour, and then you brush it. Brush it with baking soda. It's also very alkalizing.
I think maybe that's what I was doing that was wrong, because I was brushing my teeth thinking I was doing something good.
No, not right after. It's not recommended to do that, because the acidity is on your teeth, and then you're brushing and you're making it worse, and you're ruining the enamel of the teeth. So you never want to brush after eating fruits, never right away. Always rinse first with water only, and then you brush your teeth about half an hour later.
Thank you very much for that. It's been great. I mean, also wanted to talk to you a little bit about, we touched on it a little bit, and I've seen a lot what you talk about, shadow work. Is that something you want to touch on today, or can we leave it for another session, for another time?
No,
just a little.
Yeah, because shadow work is really also emotional mastery. As I mentioned before, any condition, anything you're going through always has an emotional root. So shadow work is really looking, it's looking at the parts. The shadow is everything that is stored in your unconscious. The parts about you have disowned. And these are also repressed memories, suppressed emotions. All that is stored in the subconscious. And all that stuff is running your life without you even being aware of it. And it's running, on default. It's like an autopilot, unless you become aware of it. So shadow work is really bringing all that stuff up from the subconscious and look at it for what it is without making it wrong, without feeling guilty or ashamed. You look at all these pieces of you that you don't want to look at, and you hold it in love. And then there's a process. It's a 4-step process how to work with these emotions. But it's really about excavating all the stuff out of the subconscious, out of the darkness, and bringing it into the light. And this is a very powerful process. And the shadow really shows up mainly through triggers. Let's say someone says something or does something, and you get angry. It's realizing it's not the person or the situation making you angry. It's actually that you have anger within you, and this anger is being activated by the situation or through that person. And that's where really the transformation comes in, by realizing it is my anger. It's not the person making me angry, it's my anger. And I got to look, I'm responsible for my anger. And I have to look, where does my anger come from? And it's usually created in the first 7 years of your life. Because in the first 7 years, a child is under hypnosis. And everything the child sees or hears and witnesses, the child is told, the child thinks, creates a program. This is reality. This is true. So all these programs are running unless you become aware of them and change the programs. And these are often beliefs that are not even your own beliefs, that were given to you by your parents, something you heard, in your surroundings, or given by society, and they don't resonate, they don't serve you, and they're not, based on truth even. So we have to look at these programs that are running, and they show up through the trigger. What person triggers you? What is it about that person that triggers you? And look, where is it within you? Because the other person is simply your mirror. They're pointing out something that is within you that you have not looked at yet. But once you look at it, you can see it. Oh, wow. And then you can make you realize there's a certain belief running, and you can change the belief. And that's what this work, it takes practice, it takes awareness. But there's tremendous potential and so much healing available when we learn to look at our emotional stuff. And when you do shadow work effectively, you don't get triggered anymore by what people are saying or doing, by what's going on in the world, what the government does. It does not impact you anymore, because you know everything is a reflection of you. The outside world is a reflection of your inner world. And if you create an inner world that is based on peace and love, the outside world will shift, and you can see it for what it is.
Sabina, it's been, how time flies when you're having fun. I mean, it's been fantastic connecting with your beautiful energy as always, and I just love listening to you. You're so uplifting, and I am sharing your stuff, and I'll continue to share, because your activation is truly uplifting, and from the bottom of my heart, I'm sure it'd be the start of a long, beautiful, lasting, magical, fun relationship, and would be an honor to see you one day in the flesh as well. Because you're based up, I think, in the States, right, Sabina? You're
Yes,
based in
I
the
am
United States. Yeah.
2 hours
Okay.
north. Yeah, no, I live in the mountains, in the forest, 2 hours north of New York City.
Excellent, excellent. Because I get sort of wonderful pictures. You do tend to, you have a beautiful posture, and you have this beautiful stance, beautiful backgrounds. I mean, it's just remarkable. The
Yeah,
place
my
that you.
back- yeah. So my background
Yeah.
is actually, I used to work in the fashion industry and film industry. And it's been,
Okay.
I've been since I was in my early 20s. I worked in fashion shootings in New York with supermodels and Hollywood actors. And then I collaborated with photographers. I became like photo editors. I've always been, from a world where it's about beauty and compositions and lighting. And I've always been fascinated by beauty. And now more, natural beauty than just staged beauty. But beauty and colors is a big thing of my life. And I love capturing beauty in nature. And I love moving the body and doing yoga. So I'm using all my passions and putting them together, healing with beauty, with nature, with the colors. And I love photographing beautiful foods that are colorful, and the rainbow diet and living foods. I mean, nature is there's so much beauty in nature. It's incredible. It's just never ending, and so much abundance, because when you look at nature, everything is unique. There's no tree that is like another tree, no flower like another flower. And we have to, spend more time, sit in nature and really observe. There's just so much. It's miraculous. So nature is our biggest teacher.
Yeah. And do you also feel, I mean, from my own personal experience, do you also feel that to be in grace is also very supportive of, gratitude? Because that's how my day begins always. Thank you. And to be very conscious of this, because, you are leaving, like you are leaving beautiful, very lively impressions, and that's very energizing for people, and that's why I salute and honor your work of art, and look forward to inviting you again in the foreseeable future. I'm sure we will find a topic to discuss on, and it's been very enjoyable sharing space with you. Lovely, Sabina. On the title, just to remind the viewers, it was the keys to unlocking radiant health and to be ecstatic about being conscious and alive. And you are certainly a very powerful beacon and a great ambassador, Sabina. So thank you so much. Do you want to end it on a particular note? I mean, is there something else you want to tell our beautiful listeners, viewers out there? I mean, I'll let you do the finishing touch.
Yes, first of all, thank you, Barry, for your so sweet and kind words. Oh, it makes my heart sing. Yes, and also what I want to leave everyone with is, I come to realize that our natural state is to live ecstasy and to live joy and to live bliss every single day. This is not something that we experience on rare occasions. Most people experience ecstasy when they have sex or something really amazing happens to them. But no, ecstasy is actually your natural state and it is your birthright. But we have forgotten that, and we have been so, blocking this part of us with all, eating the wrong foods, thinking negative thoughts, living in fear, sitting in an apartment all day long and sitting at a desk. We have disconnected from all these important pieces, like we mentioned, eating real food, connecting to nature deeply, not just going for a walk, actually communing to nature when you become one with nature, letting your inner child go wild, going on adventures, exploring things and loving yourself, like you've never done before, having actually a love affair with yourself. And when you actually go deep into self-love, like true self-honoring and truly respecting your body and respecting yourself, you will get to a place, you will fall so much in love with yourself that your life becomes ecstatic every single day. And nothing needs to happen for you to experience joy and ecstasy. It just oozes out of you. And this is what I want to, this is possible for anyone. But we have to first release the blocks that is blocking us from ecstatic living, that is blocking us from true aliveness. So it's about releasing the blockages and the layers and all the programs that are running in our mind and all the stuff that we store in our body, because all emotions are stored in the body. Trauma is stored in the body. Resentment is stored in the body. Limited thinking, lack mentality is all stored in the body. So we have to start right here with this beautiful body by honoring it and nourishing it with the very best, and releasing everything that is not from the very best, and loving yourself the entire journey, just the way you are. You have to start loving yourself where you are right here, right now. Even your life is not the way you would like it to be, but we have to first start here and then move towards where we would like to be. But it's a deep, as you mentioned, gratitude, starting every day with what am I grateful for every single day. And if you really look, there's so much to be grateful for. And the more you focus on what you're grateful for, the more the universe will bring to you things to be grateful for. So we start right here with the self-love journey and the gratitude journey.
Beautiful, beautiful. On that note, Sabina, much love, and look forward to seeing you again in the very near future. Sending you, much love. All right.
Yes, so much love, Baron. Lots of love to everyone else. And just know it is possible. You can do this, but it starts with your belief. By kindness, this is possible for me. I have what it takes. You are the leader of your life.
Thank you.
Bioactivator would like to thank you for your kind support and donations. Through Barrett Tunian's guardianship of this platform, his activation of truth harmonizes, neutralizes, and unblocks the meridians that connect, balance, and purify all that comes in contact. Do no harm is the key that fully opens the heart's voice to be in the union of the I Am presence, and will represent every living organism on the planet whose voice would otherwise not be heard. Remember, the truth will set you free. Do no harm, cause no loss, and do not impose upon the freedom of others. Love, light, and